Huh. Huh. Broadcasting live from the Kata Studio. Welcome to the Ho Ho Show. And as always, I'm your host, Ho Ho. And I have got to try to get something going. There we go. Are you kidding me? Sorry. Hold on. Give me a second. Give me a second. So, because I completely screwed up on something, let's try this again.
Welcome to the Ho Ho Show.
Rated the #1 most listened to podcast on Pluto. So join us now as we discuss news, politics, current events, and so much more. So clear the airwaves and strap in as we
defend the Constitution, because freedom matters.
Broadcasting live from the Kata Studio. Welcome to the Ho Ho Show, and as always, I'm your host, Ho Ho. How y'all's doing? I hope you're doing good. I really do. So yes, a slight snafu. I updated something on the Roadcaster, and of which case, the Spreaker Studio no longer recognized it, and nothing was going through. That was rather entertaining. And hello, Dave, over there in YouTube land. He says, good evening. Absolutely. Yes. Says the volume is up. Nice. And Brian over there in YouTube land. He says, what's up, little Debbie? Not much, sir. So we've got some things to talk about today. We really do. We got some things to talk about. What made America great? So there's a pretty good series over there on YouTube. What's that series called? The Newsroom. Good show. It's only like 3 seasons long. It's been out for a while. I mean, it's not like it's anything new. It's got Jeff Daniels in there, smattering of other people. Some you may know and recognize, some you may not. Hello, Josh, over there in YouTube land. Good to see you. But you may... And I'm sure a lot of people have seen, like the opening scene of the pilot where he's, talking with a bunch of people that's about ready to graduate college. And he's asked a question, what makes America the greatest country in the world? And of which case he says it isn't. He goes on a rampage and he explains why, using statistical information and things that are factual. And he lays the case as to why it's not the greatest nation anymore. And yeah, that did come out quite a while ago. But he makes the comeback. And he outlines numerous reasons as to why we were the greatest nation. Things that made America great. But there's a few things that he left out, and a couple that I would say would be really, really big things that makes America great. The thing that he doesn't notice, he doesn't talk, say anything about is, our capitalism. Capitalism is one of the things that makes America great. Now, I'm like 44-ish. I'm almost 45. Holy crap. Yeah, I'll be 45 next month. Wow. But capitalism is one of the things that makes this country great. I mean, think about it, okay? You can go into Walmart, all right? You go inside Walmart, it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter if you're me. It doesn't matter if you're Elon Musk. It doesn't matter if you're as black as Wesley Snipes or if you're as white as Swift. Taylor Swift. Yeah, there you go. It doesn't matter. He says, now I want to go listen to that again. I'm 60. Congratulations. Awesome. But it doesn't, it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter your social economic standard. It doesn't matter how much money you make. It doesn't matter the color of your skin. You go into Walmart, you look at the price tag. The price is what the price is. Yes, you may get discounts for various things, but, that's beside the point. You know what the price is. You go to the hospital. Do you know what the price is? No, you don't. Because there's a different price for all kinds of different things. There's a cash price. There's a credit price. There's a, there's a price for, the type of insurance you got. There's the standard healthcare costs. There's the Obama healthcare costs. I mean, there's a lot of different factors in there that you don't know how much something is going to cost you. It's hidden from you. I watched a video just today. Plus tax, electromechanic puts in there. And hello, sir. Welcome. I'm trying to read that. That hurt my brain there for a second. But yeah, plus tax, absolutely. And depending on what it is you buy, there's different tax rates in there for all that kind of stuff. But you don't know how much these things are going to cost. But I watched a video just earlier today, actually, that was talking about the price of medication. And he mentioned this medication that he buys for like $2 a pill. He sells it for the prescription. He sells it for $4. But once you mention that you've got, I should have known that. Hello, Roger. How you doing? Genius. Yeah, I know. It happens. But he says once the customer mentions that they have health care, well, now he's got to charge now he's got to charge $10. And like 6 of it goes to, has to go right to the federal government. It's like, what? And there's a gag order placed on him to where he can't even talk about it to the customer. He can't tell them, hey, by the way, you get, I can charge you less money if you just pay the cash price for it. He can't tell them the truth about the price discrepancy, all because the person has health care and the government doesn't want you to know about these type of things. Doesn't that seem kind of fishy? But the other very big thing is of what made America great is our legal system. Yeah. In this nation, we are supposed to have equal rights under the law, equal protection under the law, equal representation under the law, and equal justice under the law. Do we have that? I can't say as if we do. We don't have that anymore. Dave put in and goes, I think Rush Limbaugh talked about this a long time ago. I tried paying cash at the dentist and he wasn't having it. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of things anymore, to be honest with you, that you really can't pay cash for. I mean, good grief. You know, the federal government has made something that isn't illegal and has turned it illegal. Like having, too much, having too much cash on hand. Now you have to have receipts, on every dollar that you have that you pulled out of a bank or whatever. You have to have receipts for all that. Since when was having cash illegal? Fact of the matter is, it isn't. Roger puts in there, he goes, our legal system that no longer exists. Absolutely, and that's my point. The legal system isn't what it's supposed to be. I mean, good grief. Look at what's going on with Trump right now. Look at what's going on with the January 6th protesters right now. It's no longer a legal system. It's no longer equal anything under the law. It's all about who you are, what political party you're affiliated with, and that's all that matters anymore. I mean, good grief. Another area that we don't have equality under the law is in the tax code. Every April 15th, I'm reminded that I'm a single white guy. Why do I pay a different tax based off of my race, my marital status, and how much money I make? And yes, it is a weapon at this point. You are absolutely 100% correct on this. The legal system has been turned on the civilian, and it absolutely has. I mean, we have lost our republic. People, do you understand that? That we have absolutely lost the republic. It's gone. It doesn't exist anymore. I mean, we have three separate but equal branches of government. Okay, you've got the legislative branch. Their job is to write laws, consisting of two houses, House of Representatives to represent the people, the Senate, which originally was to represent the state as a whole. You have the executive branch consisting of the president, whom is supposed to represent the nation as a whole, and is supposed to faithfully execute the laws of the land. And then you have the judicial system, whom is to represent the Constitution, and their job isn't to interpret the Constitution. That's a fallacy. But their job is to interpret the law, weigh it against the Constitution. Is it just or is it not? Does it go or does it stay? That's the only questions they're supposed to be answering. Along with settling disputes between the states. Obviously, that's their job. Yeah, and I'm terrified we're never getting it back. Yeah, and I'm there with you. That scares me too. I'm going to be honest with you. That absolutely scares me that we're never going to get our nation back. We're not going to get it back. I mean, at this point, yeah, we'll talk more about that later. But yeah, I'm absolutely terrified that we're not going to get it back. But that's the three branches. Not only the fact that, and they want to, I hear all the time people talking about, term limits and term limits and term limits. And it's like, dude, okay, granted, okay, every single person that's up there at Washington right now, none of them like you. They all hate you. Every last one of them. They all hate you. You see, it costs money to run for these various offices. And it does. It costs money. You know, you got to pay some money in order to win. I mean, heck, in order to become president, you got to have, you got to poll at this, this amount. You got to have, this many people whom have signed over support. You got to have so much money in order to even get on the ballot, and you got to do it by a certain time frame. So money is what allows you to run for office, and you have to have additional money to, campaign and advertise and put your name out there to gain the name recognition. And the bottom line is that's all pay for play, because these people in Washington is built on this. It's pay for play. Everybody owes somebody something. That's why none of these people, one, they don't care what you want, because you're not the one that put the money out there in order for them to get put on the ballot and for them to win. The only thing you did was voted. Yeah, we had a nation, and this is one of the things, again, that made America great, was we were a nation that weren't run by bureaucrats. We ran it. It was run by we the people. And you are absolutely right. The whole reason Trump was good for this country, and this is why he was getting attacked since day one, because Trump went up there with his own money, and he didn't owe anybody any favors. He didn't have to listen to anybody. Instead, what Trump did was he listened to the people. He followed the Constitution. He worked within the boundaries of the Constitution. And they attacked him since day one. They want to talk about term limits, but it's like, look, I'm going to inform you on something. I'm going to let you in on a little secret. We don't need term limits if we would actually do our damn job and vote these people out of office. Granted, there's too many stupid people out there that keep voting, these people in office. But, I mean, if the majority of the people actually understood their power, once it gets bad enough, hat tip Dan Bongino, people are going to start changing how they vote. Hopefully this happens quick rather than later. The First Amendment, we've lost it. We no longer have the freedom of speech. No longer have the freedom of press. They can shut you up. They can silence you. You can't protest. You can't petition the government for redress of grievances. You can't do any of this kind of crap, because if you don't have the voice they want you to have, they will silence you. They'll call it hate speech. They'll call you names. They'll do all kinds of stuff. They will shut you up. And if you don't shut up, they'll put you in jail. We've lost the Second Amendment. What part shall not be infringed don't these people seem to understand. I'm going to let you in on another secret. The sawed-off shotgun was deemed illegal. You want to know why the sawed-off shotgun was deemed illegal? Because it was a modification on a firearm that wasn't currently used by the military. Therefore, that means if it is a modification used by the military, then that is something that I can own as a civilian. Absolutely. That's case law precedence, even though I don't agree with case law precedence, because, well, the only branch of government that can write laws is the legislative branch, not the judicial branch. But it's still something that's talked about today, so therefore we can actually own all that. Absolutely. Roger puts in here, he goes, they put a gag order on Trump's attorney. Yeah. Want to know why the Second Amendment was a thing? See, the government was afraid. Our founding fathers was afraid. Let me phrase this properly. The founding fathers was afraid of a standing army, because they were afraid that if the government had their way, those guns would eventually point inward. That is why the standing army is not supposed to be standing for over 2 years at a time. After 2 years, it's supposed to go to Congress to reauthorize the army again. Not supposed to have a standing army. The job of national defense is in the hands of the people. And the difference between a soldier, enlisted soldier, and a militia was, the soldier is issued his gear, his weaponry, his rounds, his clothing. Everything was issued to him, as to where the militia, it's yours. That's why you have to have, in order to be part of the militia, you have to have your own gear. You got to have your own stuff. You got to have your own rifle, military rifle. You got to have your own ammunition, and you got to be able to, train and function properly. You got to be able to do that. As part of it, it's a responsibility. The security of the homeland belongs to the people. That's how it was originally written. You can't have a militia if the people don't have the right to keep and bear arms. If it's infringed, then it doesn't do any good. Even with all the infringements that they're doing, we still have the largest unofficial army in history on the planet. Period. We do. But if the government actually has their way, then we don't. And be fearful of anybody that's talking about gun control and gun confiscation, because first you got first you have registration, then you get confiscation, then you get elimination. Don't believe me? Ask any nation in the past that's ever had registration, confiscation, then it's elimination. It's genocide. That's how it's happened in the past. Millions upon millions of people. That's what's happened. We're no longer secure in our person, places, and things, and none of that. We're no longer secure in that. They can walk into your home, in some cases without a warrant, go through whatever they want to, and call different things a crime. The 10th Amendment has been long dead. The 9th Amendment, they act like it doesn't even exist. So many of that crap, and holy cow. I got this article from the Washington Examiner, and hey, it's kind of bad when you got to give accolades to somebody for actually doing their constitutional job. Washington Examiner, a federal judge late Wednesday gave millions of gun owners breathing room when he slammed whenever he slammed the Biden administration's effort to ban a big slice of the AR-15 market. The headline is, because I never read it. Judge crashes ATF AR-15 gun ban. Why is it we got to give, judges, the legal system, accolades for actually doing what it is they're supposed to be doing? Because we're so used to the legal system and judges not actually having our back. We're used to our rights being infringed upon. It is bogus. It's absolutely bogus. We live in a country where criminals have more rights than a law-abiding citizen. I mean, it's ridiculous. I've used this example 100 times, and I'm going to use it again because it cries about what's going on and what is wrong with this nation right now. There was a guy that was breaking into a house, fell through the skylight, landed on an island in the kitchen that had a knife on it, cut his leg open, and they sued the homeowner and won for damages. If you wasn't on the roof trying to break in and committing a crime, then you never would have gotten hurt. Why is the homeowner liable for what happened to that stupid criminal? If they wasn't a criminal, they wouldn't have gotten hurt, and they freaking won. Are you kidding me? That's one of the things that's wrong with this country. The criminal has more rights. An illegal alien has more rights than a citizen. What does it mean to be a citizen anymore? I mean, I can get a handout for walking across the border, walking back, claiming I don't speak any English, and next thing you know, I have everything I want. Why is it we are spending $9,000 a month in some cities in this nation on illegal immigrants whenever we have homeless veterans on the street? 22 a day committing suicide. We just had Veterans Day yesterday. This article from the Associated Press, Biden says America's veterans are the steel spine of the nation as he pays tribute at Arlington. Really? Really? Do you honestly think that's what Biden believes? Do you honestly think that's what most Democrats believe? And that is a very good point. Roger puts in there, he goes, it's hard to be a citizen of a country that doesn't have a border. Yeah, we'll spend how much money on Ukraine's border? We don't even know how much money to give to Ukraine. Part of that money to secure their border. And what's going on down at our southern border is absolutely ridiculous. Bizarro World. There used to be a DC comic villain called Bizarro. He was Superman, but opposite. He was called Bizarro. And I think I remember that guy. When the criminal has more rights than the citizen, when the non-citizen has more rights than the citizen, we have issues. Now, we're going to be talking about this in the next segment, but let's open it up with this one from whatever this news source is. Headline, MMA fighter's entrance t-shirt. Trump was indicted before anyone on Epstein's client list. How sad is that? I mean, really, how sad is that? Roger asks, he goes, and how many Islamic extremists are coming through the southern border? No one knows, and you're absolutely right, because one of the reasons why, because, okay, let's just say from Gaza, from Pakistan. Whenever you're coming across the border, if they even, contact, if you're even approached by anybody from Border Patrol, they don't mark you as a Palestinian. They mark you as other. And that's only if they make contact. I mean, I heard a number that was like, what, 100 and almost 200,000 people on terrorist watch list that they have caught. I don't know what their status is. I don't know anything on that as far as if they got sent back home, if they got, sent back into Mexico, any. I have no idea. I just know those are the ones that they've told us about. That's a lot. We have no idea how many extremists we're bringing into this country. The answer to that question is a lot. I was having a conversation with Linda a while back ago, and we were talking about, that global day of jihad. That, yeah, the enemy's already here, There's cells that are already here and they're just waiting for the word go. And the atrocities of what happened over in Israel very easily will be happening here. They admitted at least 200 on the watch list that have gotten through and are in this country now. So they got through. They're in the country. Okay. So they're on the terrorist watch list. They knew they were on the watch list, and they welcomed them in anyway, gave them money, gave them food, gave them housing, gave their family, if they came over with family education and everything else. And yeah. That's disgusting, isn't it? Yeah. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break. When I return, we're going to be talking about Trump, what's going on there, and why that is such a big deal. Just a couple minutes, and I'll be right back. Do you love your occasional Mexican dish or your musical fruit? Are you tired of walking by family members and crop dusting them? Well, if this has ever happened to you, might I introduce you to Tampons brand butt plugs. Tampons brand butt plugs is that particular type of butt plug that allows you to walk in public in confidence knowing that you're not going to accidentally crop dust somebody. Tampons brand butt plugs now with the plastic applicator.
Not just for women anymore.
Tampons brand butt plugs. All right, and we are back. All right, so yeah, Trump. That's where we're going now. Trump. Because there's a lot of things going on with this one. Where should I start? I mean, there's quite a few different articles in here, and I really didn't like a linear avenue of how to hit these. I never did really even settle upon. So let's just go ahead and start off with this article from the Associated Press. Trump joins media outlets in pushing for his federal election interference case to be televised, and as it should be. You see, here's the thing. The left, if they're smart, They don't want it to be televised. And Trump absolutely does want it televised. You want to know why Trump wants it televised? It's simple. There was shenanigans that was going on. I said it before, and I'm going to say it again. There was shenanigans. I'll go ahead and put in this magazine again about the 5 states. If you want to read that, head on over to thehoshow.com. Just click on that newsfeed tab, and there you'll see my magazine over on Flipboard. And in there, the top article, I'll put it in there after the show. I ain't going to put it in there right now because I'll screw myself up, but I'll put it in at the next break. But I'll put it in there. There's enough shenanigans that we knew about from, and this dates back to, I think, December of 2020, that, yeah, we knew there was some shenanigans. Let's just put it that way. We knew there was enough shenanigans that, this needs to be investigated. And just so you know, just so we're clear, just so there is no misunderstanding whatsoever, none of these things actually seen its day in court. Never did. Instead, what they did was, we're not allowing this evidence. We're not going to talk about it. The Supreme Court didn't even give it the time of day. It never seen its day in court. Yes, lawsuits were filed, but none of the audits on any of it actually even happened. Why is that important? Well, if you say that, let's say this TV cost $1,000. And I give you $1,000. 600 of it is monopoly money. Only $400 of it is actual legal tender. And if all you do is a recount, you're still going to come up with $1,000. But unless you actually audit the cash and verify that it's legal, then you're not going to get a different number. But we both know the difference between $100 Monopoly bill and a Benjamin Franklin legal tender bill. We all know the difference. Unless you audit the system, the count is still going to come up with the same dollar amount. That's why the audit was important, and the audits never happened. Okay, let's be clear on that. The audits never happened. Never seen its day in court. But now whenever they put this thing in there, because one of the things that they're charging Donald J. Trump with, the 45th president, is, he knew that he lost and, did all this stuff and, fraudulently made this claim, and of which case, bravo, Sierra. No, he didn't. And with them putting that in, a court record, he can force them to make receipts. Because anything else is hearsay. All that stuff is supposed to be inadmissible in court, but, all right. So I lost, huh? Where's the documentation that proves it? There isn't any. There isn't any. Are you aware of that? There isn't any. With most of these ballot boxes, they were there illegally in places where they wasn't supposed to be. Put there by people that had no legal constitutional authority to put them there. And there's no chain of custody forms on a lot of them. They don't have the receipts to prove that Biden won. They don't. Specifically and especially in those 5 states. Michigan, Pennsylvania, Georgia, and a couple others that I don't remember off the top of my head. They don't have the receipts to prove it. You know, it's kind of like trying to walk out of a store with a big screen TV. Where's the receipt that you bought it? No, I don't have it. There is no receipt. It's as if the purchase never happened. They can't prove it. And that's the truth. They don't have the documentation to verify, to prove that Biden actually won the election. Hate to tell you this. Doesn't exist. Anybody that says otherwise, they're lying to you. It's pure and it's simple. They're lying to you. Let's move on. This next article. This is actually pretty awesome. This is from Peacock News. Headline, Minnesota Supreme Court dismisses effort to block Trump from state's primary ballot. Now, I know you might think of this as a win, but here's the thing. There was a caveat that they hid in here that said that he could still be removed from the presidential ballot. Now, I know you all are aware of this when they're talking about the 14th Amendment. They're talking about the resurrection. Yeah, they're talking about the rebellion clause in there, you know, and they're ignoring the fact that Congress has made a rebellion, an insurrection act, and of which case nobody, including the people that were arrested, put in the prison, and charged with crimes, quote unquote. Nobody's been charged with insurrection, including Trump. All the things that Trump is being accused of, all the indictments that he has against him right now, ain't a one of them on insurrection. Doesn't exist. And yet they still want to claim that he's an insurrectionist, claiming that the 14th Amendment, Section 3 of the 14th Amendment actually is self-enforcing, even though they have to ignore the 5th section in the 14th Amendment where it says that Congress makes the law of enforcement. And by the way, Congress did the Insurrection Act, and nobody's been charged with it. Let me say that again. Nobody's been charged with insurrection, including Trump, but yet they still want to remove him from the ballot. Why? Because they are terrified of him. Yeah, they absolutely are terrified of him. This headline from Vanity Fair, and there are several headlines that basically say the exact same thing in there. Donald Trump isn't even trying to hide his authoritarian second-term plans. You see, here's the thing. They are absolutely terrified that somehow President Trump in a second term would be able to use the heavy hand of government to go after the people that went after him. And here's the thing. Unlike all the charges against Trump, everything that he would be going after his enemies for, well, they're actually guilty of it. Breaking crimes, committing crimes and breaking laws. Yeah. Hillary Clinton, has she gone to prison? No. Joe Biden, is he going to prison? No. Is Hunter Biden going to go to prison? No. We talked earlier about that article with Epstein's client list. Has any of them gone to prison? No. No indictments. No court hearings. No fines. Oh, I'm sure there's been money changing hands. Nothing. It's not authoritarian whenever you're using the actual law and holding people accountable. Aren't we supposed to have Equal rights, equal representation. Isn't the law the law? Well, it's supposed to be. And this is something that Roger talked about earlier. This headline from Above the Law, which I thought was actually kind of funny, the name of it. Trump appeals gag to protect First Amendment right to intimidate witnesses. What? No. I'm going to tell you this right now. That is not what is on Trump's mind. And oh yeah, by the way, we have the constitutional right to confront our accusers. That's a constitutional right. It's in there. It's in there somewhere. I don't quite remember which amendment it is, but it's definitely in the top 10. And I think it's like the fourth or the fifth. I don't remember which one, but it's either the fourth or the fifth. If you're accused of a crime, you have the right, constitutional right, to talk to the accusers. You have that right as the accused. Oh yeah, and by the way, he doesn't care about intimidating a witness. You want to know what he wants? And it's the same thing that all of us want. We want to know what's going on. We want to be aware of the shenanigans that they're pulling on him. We want to know why. So maybe something can be done. Maybe. Just maybe we can hold somebody accountable. Maybe, just maybe, we can get somebody fired instead of just promoting him sideways, giving him a different title and a pay raise because, they had the support of the left whenever they did whatever it was that they did. That's what Trump wants. He wants accountability. He's not trying to hide his actions by claiming something is classified. He wants to air out the dirty laundry. And again, the left don't want it. The left don't want anything to do with it. I would not be surprised if none of it is televised, if they don't actually release the gag order that they're placing on him and his lawyers, everyone. I would be surprised if they actually did, because the left, see, here's the thing that's happening. Everything that they're doing to try to bury Trump is backfiring on them in a glorious way. I mean, what is he, like 40 some odd points ahead of DeSantis in the primaries right now in the polls? He's beating everybody, including Biden. In every poll that they've done, even in polls that are so left-leaning, that are so nice and are always in the benefit, are so left and are always in the benefit of the left and the Democrats, that Biden's losing hands down. It's not even close. Let's just put it that way. It's not even close. They are terrified. Don't you dare play. Don't you play. Okay, good. And then you have this one. This headline from PBS NewsHour. News wrap. Trump's legal team asks judge to end New York civil trial. Josh Lomprez puts in here, he goes, Trump will be back. And you know what? I absolutely agree with you. I really do. I think he's going to win. And if some states try to keep him off the ballot, I think there's enough people that would simply write him in anyway. And I think there would be a huge legal battle if some states tried to keep him off. But I think, you look at the numbers that registered and came out and voted for Trump in not just 2016, but especially 2020. And I think the numbers are going to be even bigger this time around, because they're turning him into a folk hero. He's a blue-collar billionaire. And everybody has to admit, those that are actually, not so, even people with Trump derangement syndrome is like, yeah, you know what? Things were a lot better under Trump versus how things are right now. Even people with Trump derangement syndrome are coming around. That's saying something. But back to this headline from PBS. Trump's legal team asked judge to end New York civil trial. See, here's the thing. I want you to be aware of something. Okay. This from the civil trial. Okay. Now look. 80% of the things that Trump was indicted for on this was past the statute of limitations. Over 80% of the things he was charged with was past the statute of limitations, meaning legally he couldn't have been charged with 80% of the things he was charged with, okay? Okay. That aside, these are criminal proceedings. You see, in a criminal proceeding, you have a crime and the attorney general, the district attorney, these people charge you with these crimes. And then there's the process and a trial, and there you go. That's what you have. That is a criminal proceeding. So, somebody dies, that's a crime. They find you guilty with evidence. Dave Paterno goes, I'm not making a prediction. I was a jinx last time. Yeah, I feel you there, man. I really do. I feel you there. I know that's a bold statement, but I'm looking at the reaction that people's having, and it's not even, it's not about polls, man. Cause I don't trust the polls and neither should anybody else. I don't trust them, but you look at what they've said in the past, you look at what they're saying now, and there's a clear message that's there. It's a clear message. People are sick and tired of what's going on. They're sick and tired of the legal games. They're sick and tired of the show. They're sick and tired of all this. They see how everything has gone to the toilet. And they're seeing how bad everything is. They're seeing Joe out there not representing the people, and he can't even complete a full sentence, that they're seeing all this. And it's like, this is ridiculous. We're actually in a time right now where the left doesn't even want Trump. I'm sorry. The left does not even want Biden to run for president. That's why you have some people, the pro-Bidens and whatnot, that one, they're very, very ticked off about the junior running. But they're also mad about somebody else. So we'll talk about this guy a little bit later. But back to this this PBS headline. 80% of the things that he's being charged with is past the statute of limitations, meaning they are not supposed to legally be charging him with these crimes past the statute of limitations. Didn't this something being past the statute of limitations, didn't that benefit somebody not that long ago? Oh yeah, it was Hunter Biden. But for some reason, this doesn't matter against Trump. And here's another thing. These are civil cases. Here's the thing between, a criminal case and a civil case. A civil case is between two people, two parties. It's not criminal, it's civil. One of the things is that he's being accused of was overvaluing his property for getting better insurance rates and mortgage rates and getting a better loan. But here's the thing. The bank knew what they were getting into. They had no complaints over how the property was valued. Apparently, they thought everything was within par. Why do I know that? Because they went ahead and they said okay to everything that was going on. And I would honestly be hard pressed to think that these banks didn't do their due diligence in looking up various properties that Trump had and said, yes, it's worth that amount of money. Give them the loan is granted. Not to mention, every one of these loans that I am referring to have been paid back. So there is no injured party. Let me say that again. This is a civil matter that he is being charged criminally for, and there is no injured party. What's going on here isn't even legal. What the Attorney General is doing, and even charging Trump in the first place, and this isn't even to mention that 80% of these charges are past the statute of limitations. That's beyond the point. These charges being brought against Trump aren't even legal anyway. There's no injured party. Past the statute of limitations. Do you want to know why they're doing it? There's a reason why they're doing it. Do you want to know why they're doing it? They're wanting to seize his properties. They're trying to bankrupt him. And it's not all about making it to where he can't run. They're trying to get him to say uncle. If you want to be president, you're going to have to ask for some favors. You're going to have to give a little to get a little, and then you're mine. Then you're part of the swamp. Then what are you going to do? Then we own you. That's what they're trying to do. They want to bankrupt him. They're trying to seize his assets. They're trying to drown the man in litigation. That's what they're trying to do. Bankrupt him to force him to cry uncle. That's why they have sped up the proceedings. That's why they've done all of this. They're terrified of him because he represents you. He represents me. And they are afraid that he's going to take away their nice, shiny toys. He's afraid that they are going to remind, that Trump is going to remind the people that they work for us, not the other way around. Josh puts in here, he goes, they all know that if Trump comes back, that they are all going to prison. And you know what? I would like to say that would be true, but I can't. Because here's another problem that we have. And if we had a Congress that actually represented us and didn't represent the deep state, then it wouldn't be an issue. Because you have so many people. Okay, look, let me give you a number. And this is a travesty on a huge level. And I understand that. I did some research a while back ago. I got a thing, and I don't even know if I've posted it anywhere. Maybe I'll post a picture of it, on social media today. I don't know. But one of the dates I have is from the year 2016, and I think there was like a 5 or 6 year span. It was regulations written versus laws that were written in any given year. And in this time span, okay, now again, this goes back to my separate but equal branches of government, 3 separate but equal branches. The job of the legislative branch to make laws. The job of the executive branch is to write laws. The job of the executive branch isn't to write laws, but that's exactly what we have happening right now. In this time frame, 95% of the rules that we have to follow on the daily, my job, every single bit of it is controlled by the Department of Transportation. Every single bit of it is governed not by the legislative branch, but by the executive branch and the Department of Transportation. I have to follow this green book that tells me all kinds of rules that I got to follow. Every last bit of it is unconstitutional. But here's the point. Even though they are part of the executive branch, I forget how it's worded in the West Wing, but they serve at the pleasure of the president. So all of the people including top of these various departments and branches, they all serve at the pleasure of the president. As in, the president, whomever they are, is the head of every one of these administrations and departments. The Department of Transportation, Education, Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, Homeland Security, every last one of them, Department of the Interior, Department of the Exterior, if there is one, all of these various things, like 120 some odd departments, various departments within the executive branch, and every one of them writes regulations. But the problem is, just because you elect a new president doesn't necessarily mean you get a new department head. They are protected by legislation that says that the president can't do anything about it. He is very, very limited on his power to make any changes in these various departments. And you want to know why they did that? The legislative branch did this under a Democrat president whenever the Democrats were in control, and they did it because they did not want to lose that control regardless of who was in the Oval Office, in order to insulate them from a problem such as what they are about to have. Can you imagine? Can you even imagine how much more effective President Donald J. Trump's presidency would have been if he had the authority and the power to fire all these sons of bitches? These head executives in the FBI, the Department of Education, Department of Transportation, these various 120 some odd various departments that he's head over, or at least is supposed to be. Can you imagine? I mean, yeah, we had for a small amount of time, and it really didn't do much good because we really didn't get anything accomplished, but we had the House and the Senate during the first 2 years. We couldn't hold on to it, but we had it. Can you imagine how much more effective his presidency would have been if he had the authority that he is supposed to have as the head executor? Can you? Wow. I can't even imagine. I mean, dude. They did that See, here's the problem with the deep state. The deep state can protect itself. Yeah. They're supposed to be not just part of, but controlled by the president. And they're not. And the president, through the Democrat process and Democrats, took away the president's power and authority over his own branch. And the Democrats did this, by the way. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Moving on. And one of the other things that I am sure that he intends on doing, this headline is from U.S. News. I read this and I cheered. I am not going to lie. Headline, Trump plans sweeping undocumented immigrant roundups, detention camps, report. What, I got to ask you a question. Why do they write headlines like this? I mean, you got to have like Tourette's and a stuttering problem in order to be able to read some of these headlines. Why? Why can't they English? Why can't I have a bad time Englishing. English as a first language freaking sucks. That, dude, come on, people. Learn how to write a headline. And I hope that he does. Oh, we can't possibly enforce it. We can't possibly round up all these people, yada, yada, blah, blah. You could if you wanted to. I mean, get rid of these 87,000 IRS agents that they're looking to hire. Put them in, the border and protections and, enforce the law. If you actually tell some of these states and some of these cities, if you don't enforce the laws, and I'm talking to you, Illinois, Chicago, I'm talking to you with your sanctuary cities bullshit. You don't enforce this stuff, then you're no longer getting any grant money whatsoever. You're not getting any money for anything that you want to do. You ain't getting shit from us until you start actually executing the laws that you're supposed to. It's the Constitution. Part of that is, you don't do your job and enforce the law that you're supposed to be enforcing, well, then you don't get jack. And you know what? If the money dries up, these states will turn around real freaking quick. They will. I mean, look, how much money is New York spending on illegal aliens right now? How much are they spending? And if the money dries up, guess what else is going to happen? The people are going to stop coming over here. They will. You want to know why they're coming right now? Because they can come over and get everything handed to them. Free health care, education, housing, food, clothing, everything they want. They want gender re-identification surgery. They can have that. Guess who pays for it? You do. I do. We all pay for it. Yay. You want to know why they're coming? Because they're taken care of. You take away the money? You want to be a sanctuary city? Fine. You pay for it. They will turn around quicker than shit, lickety-split. Guarantee it. You want to get these people to stop coming over here? Allow people to do what Elon Musk did. I mean, isn't it a crack of hogwash? That Elon Musk was actually prosecuted, charges brought to him by the Attorney General because he wouldn't hire enough illegal aliens. Let that sink in. He adhered to the law in the Constitution. These people didn't have work permits. They were illegal aliens. He didn't hire them. Instead, he preferred to hire American citizens, and he was prosecuted for this. Yeah. So, if we actually acted like we are supposed to and, no longer gave the free ride to people, then they would stop coming here. You ain't even got to build a single inch of border wall. I would still recommend you do it for the sex trafficking, the child trafficking, for the drug trafficking, for the cartels, for all that kind of shit. I'd still recommend you do it. Build that wall. But you know what? You wouldn't have to worry about illegals coming over here for a better life because there would be nothing waiting for them. True story. They'll go home on their own. I mean, isn't it awesome that if we actually enforced the laws of the land and did what we were supposed to do, a lot of the problems this nation has would go away. Wouldn't have to worry about cashless bail. Wouldn't have to worry about Hillary Clinton. Wouldn't have to worry about Hunter Biden or Joe Biden or any of the Biden family syndicate. Wouldn't have to worry about the out of control crime. You wouldn't have to worry about all these immigrants that are going into hotels, penthouses on our dime. Wouldn't have to worry about most of the ridiculousness that's going on right now. If we just enforced our law. I mean, it's ridiculous to me how you have people like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Rashid Tlaib and Ilhan Omar and these other people of the squad that, that they complain when, laws are enforced the way that the laws are supposed to be enforced. And the only thing that they can, there's a problem, but they don't want to fix it. I mean, it really amounts to being that simple. I mean, I remember watching, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and she was, just yelling at and berating a Border Patrol agent for how he was enforcing the law. And it's like, dude, I'm enforcing the law. I'm doing my job. It's what I'm supposed to do. I am honoring my oath. It's your law. If you want it done different, then pass a freaking law. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. What are you doing? You're telling me how to do my job. Why don't you do yours? And then if there's a problem, we can fix it. Isn't it ridiculous? I mean, good grief, people. I don't understand what's so hard about it. Another article here about the, from the Daily Mail. Donald Trump indicates that if he's elected in 2024, he may use the federal government to punish his critics, defends his administration's separation of migrant families at the U.S.-Mexico border. What the ever. It's the thing that they like to talk about. And I don't, you break a law, you do a crime, you go to prison. Guess what? You're separated from your family. Why are illegal immigrants supposed to be treated so differently whenever they break the law to come over here? Oh, they're separated from their family. Yeah, so is any other criminal in the United States of America. Separated from their family when they go to prison, when they go into lockup, when they go to jail. When they get put in handcuffs and get thrown in the back of a police car, they are separated from their family. It's not like the family gets to go with them. Hello, that's how it works whenever you're a criminal doing criminal shit. I don't get it. But again, talking about using the government to punish. I really wish I could believe that would even be possible. Now, granted, they're making progress. Not enough has been done, though. Just saying, just throwing that out there. What else we got? Let's see here. Yep. Oh, yeah. I guess we could talk a little bit about that. Yeah, we will. We're going to go ahead and take another break. And when I return, we're going to talk a little bit about You know, the whole Hamas Israeli conflict, talk a little bit about that. So just a couple minutes. As soon as I end, I'll be right back.
You are correct. You are correct. You are correct. You are correct.
Have you ever been so full of it your eyes are brown? Have you ever sat on the toilet but nothing comes out? Is a box of frosted shredded wheat just not doing the trick? Well, have I got the ultimate solution for you. Tide Pod Brand Colon Cleanse. See, Tide Pod Brand Colon Cleanse is that particular product that will break through the sphincter like the Kool-Aid Man through a brick wall. Oh yeah! No more irregularity, no more cramping, just good old nice flow. That's right. Tide Pod Brand Colon Cleanse. Please use responsibly and use at home. This is a fast-acting product now available in Tropical Punch. All right, and we are back. All right. Yeah. We're just going to go ahead and start right into it. Dive into it. I'm going to start with this headline from the Associated Press. Y'all know about what's going on over there in Israel. The fight between Hamas and the Israeli people, not just the IDF. Y'all know about this. This has been going on for over a month now, actually. It's been going on for a while. I'm sure by now y'all have heard about the atrocities. I'm sure y'all may have even seen some videos highlighting and showing what has been going on. I'm sure that even some of you have heard that there were journalists who were documenting this for Hamas and even in some small ways even participated in the horrors of what was going on. I'm sure some of you may have heard that. That is news that, came to light just recently this week. Crimes against humanity is what's been going on. It surprises me some of the people whom seem to support Hamas and are anti-Israeli, like women and gay rights activists or any member of the LGBTQ AIFP, what the fuck ever. However many letters they want to throw in there now. or as I like to call them, the rainbow community. It astonishes me how these people support that, support them, support Hamas. I got to be honest with you. I don't get it. I mean, you're a woman and you support Hamas. I mean, really, your family can kill you for for being promiscuous, for going out at night without a male family escort. And you're okay with this. If you go out without a head covering and your legs bare, you can be killed for this. You can't drive a car by yourself without a male family member in the vehicle with you. And you're okay with this. I mean, these are the people that you support. Really? How? You're a member of the LGBT, you're a member of the rainbow community. Go over to the Gaza Strip. Wear your dresses with your funny hats. Let them know that I'm queer and I'm here. You'll be lucky to get a Red Bull whenever they take you up to a tall building and see if you can fly. You'll be lucky to get a Red Bull because that's what they do to people of the rainbow community in the Gaza Strip. That's what Hamas does. They kill them. And you're going to support these people. You're going to support the brutal rape of women, the killing of innocent people, the killing of children, the beheadings of babies. You're okay with this. There's enough people that know what Hamas is. There's enough people. This headline from the Associated Press, from the river to the sea. Why these 6 words spark fury and passion over the Israel-Hamas war. And it's simple. Because that's what Hamas says. That's what the Palestinians say. From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. Something like that is what they say. That means that they want to abolish, exterminate the Jewish people. They want that land for themselves. Period. End of story. And it's not about a 2-state solution. It's not about living in peace side by side with the Jews. It's about complete and utter extermination. What they did on October 7th is pretty stinking clear. They would have killed more had they had the chance. It's what they want. I think we all know this. I think we are all aware. This headline from the Daily Mail, this was, I don't want to say entertaining to me, but this says a lot. It really does. It says a lot. Daily Mail, Democrats tell Biden to let Palestinians stay in the U.S. as the Gaza war rages. More than 100 lawmakers urge White House to grant them protected immigration status. You see, here's the thing, okay? Here's the thing. I want you to know something. I want you to be aware of something. I want you to hear me when I say the Palestinians over in the Gaza Strip, they could go to Jordan. Jordan won't take them. Why not? They could go to Lebanon. Lebanon won't take them. They're right there by the Sinai Peninsula. They can go to Egypt. Egypt won't take them. Egypt says no. But yet, you're going to have nation upon nation person upon person, ignorant, stupid person upon ignorant, stupid person, saying that we should just let him here. What could possibly go wrong? There's a reason why these other Middle Eastern nations don't want anything to do with the Palestinians trying to get away from the war in the Gaza Strip. There's a reason why they're saying, no, you're not coming here. There's a reason why. And I think we all know what that reason is. Now, this is something that gives me great joy. It really does. It very much does. When people start voting with their pocketbook, that's when you see change. It's when you see change. There's a headline. Let me try to find it. Okay, here's this headline from Peacock News. Muslim students feel abandoned. No, dude. I can't. And I could have swore I silenced my phone. Apparently I did not. Or wait, I did. That was my watch. Okay, so the headline, CBS News, Muslim students feel abandoned by U of Texas after Israelis disrupt Palestinian event. Look, the disruption is actually more coming from pro-Hamas people. It very much is. I hate this thing. All right, so what is that headline? Scandal plagued liberal college faces new probe over anti-Semitism and their embrace of Hamas. Got a, and that was from Fox News. Got a headline. Yes. I was on the show, man, and you called me. I'll call you back afterwards. More than 1,600 Jewish Harvard alumni threatened to withdraw donations over anti-Semitism concerns. But the one that I was like, this is awesome, is this headline from motherjones.com. Nope, that was not it. Nope, that was not it. There it is. The crackdown on pro-Palestinian students is a disaster for free speech. See, here's what the problem is. You also remember a while back ago, there was a story how, these people that signed, these college students that signed the pro-Hamas stuff, and their names were leaked and was made public. They signed a public signature thing, and then they got angry because it was made public. And then you had various businesses and people that really didn't like the fact that they were pro-terrorists and all of everything of what the Hamas did to the Israeli people. And what they really wanted was to talk shit and not get hit. And that's more or less what it amounted to. They wanted to have the stupid thoughts that they had, but they didn't want any fallback, any repercussions. They just figured that everybody would be down for the Bravo Sierra that they were talking about. The machine puts in there, goes, there's a lot of problems like these students failing history and have no grasp on humanity. Absolutely. Not understanding that Israel isn't the problem, that Hamas terrorism is. Very much so. But it's not a crackdown on pro-Palestinian students' speech. It's not a crackdown whatsoever. I mean, I'm all for free speech. If your platform is free speech and you're talking about the freedom of your speech, dude, I will stand beside you day and night. I don't care. I will. I will stand in support of your freedom to speak. That's not to say I'm going to support what you say, but I very much believe that you have the right to say it. Absolutely. And you want to know why? So that this way people know who you are. But don't be shocked about the backlash. If you're going to say something stupid, you're probably going to get something stupid said back to you. Like these students found out whenever they signed that petition or whatever the heck it was that they signed for supporting Hamas. They found out real quick that there's consequences whenever you take such a stupid stance in support of terrorists. They didn't like that backlash. They didn't like being held accountable for their beliefs. That's what you have. Especially in the world that the left is creating today. Because we're all about the cancel culture now, aren't we? We're not live and let live. We're not. Not anymore. I mean, we used to be. It's like, dude, you can have your stance. That's fine. Well, we can separate things. We can compartmentalize. We can do all that. That's what we do, right? We can do that. We're adults here. We can do that. We can separate business from pleasure and personal and professional. We can do that. We separate all those things. That's fine. You can have a stupid point of view, come into work and be just fine. But when you no longer are that, when you no longer represent that, when you no longer honor that, when you no longer separate those things, then nothing is taboo. The left is all about the cancel culture. That's the world that they created. And now they're going to act surprised when they're held to that standard, when they're the ones that say something that maybe they shouldn't be saying. And now you have people voting with their mouths. You have the Jewish billionaire that quits Columbia University Business School board, citing school's moral cowardice. You have Harvard alumni withdrawing donations over anti-Semitism. These are the things that you have. And I'm not surprised. Wait. I can't really say that because, yeah, actually, I kind of am. I mean, dude, the Democrats has been, because here's the thing, okay? The Democrats have been pretty good about hiding, not really hiding, but putting on a good front, wearing a good mask, saying, not really the right things at the right times, but at least making enough of a show to where they still get the support financially and otherwise of the Jewish community. I mean, let's face it, let's be honest. Most of the Jewish people in the United States of America vote Democrat. I don't understand why, but they do. Because they say not even the right things, but at least they sugarcoat things well enough to where they say, let's be honest, they ain't paying attention. They ain't paying attention. That's just all it amounts to. They ain't paying attention. Machine puts in there and goes, used to hide, now they do it out in the open. They do, but like I said, though, I mean, it's not like that they've been silent about, their, what they believe. I mean, good grief. How many times has Ilhan Omar or Rashid Tlaib said something that was anti-Semitic? How many times have they said something? How many times have they apologized? If it was a Republican, they would have been booted out the door a long time ago from the word go. But no, it's a Democrat. It's accepted. It's tolerated. You're supposed to let her say her Bravo Sierra, and you're supposed to believe that it's A-OK. Not AOC, A-OK. But maybe, just maybe, finally, we're taking enough of a notice. Maybe, just maybe, we'll actually let these people know that, you can believe what you want to believe. You can say what you want to say, but there are consequences to those things now. And like I said, this is the world that the left has created. This is the cancel culture that they grew. This is what they wanted. And now they're upset when it's being turned on them. And finally, I mean, did it really have to come down to this for people to get their heads and pick them up out of the sand? I could use a different analogy. I'm not going to. But I mean, you look at the state of the economy. You look at what's going on. Machine puts in there, he goes, curious fact, both Tlaib and Omar's districts are known to be three-letter people as terrorist hotbeds in the U.S. Yeah. And isn't it Ilhan Omar, I believe, who actually committed fraud in order to become a U.S. citizen in the first place? How is she a congresswoman? I mean, she married her brother to gain citizenship and then divorced him and married what? I think a white guy. Not even somebody of her own nationality and creed. Isn't that true, Machine? I don't remember. I'm pretty sure it was, okay, yeah. Yeah, she committed fraud to even become a citizen, and now she's a congresswoman. Diversity hire. Yeah. I mean, she should be in prison. Abso-freaking-lutely. I mean, not to mention she is an extremist anyway. Yeah, she's an extremist. Oh, you didn't know. Yeah, she's a terrorist. She committed fraud in order to become a citizen, and now she's a congresswoman, and she actually is supposed to, and she should be in jail for breaking immigration laws. She broke the law. And now she's a congresswoman. Even you can become a congresswoman. Yeah. We have issues, people. I don't have a lot of faith anymore. Got to be honest with you. I just don't. What else I got? Oh, headline from the Daily Wire. Hamas terrorists admit that they hide in hospitals and use ambulances for transport. We knew this already. I mean, why? That's not a big, we knew that already. we knew that they used civilians as human shields. We knew this. We know that they set up shop in hospitals and schools and apartment buildings. That's what they do. This isn't a surprise. All right, guys, that's all I got for you today. That is it. If you guys want to check out the articles that I use in the show, head on over to thehohoshow.com. Just click on that newsfeed tab, and there you'll see my magazine on Flipboard. Check that out. And like I said, before too much longer, I will put that 5 states and their shenanigans, and no, that's not the title of it, but I'll put that article in this magazine, and it will be the first magazine in there. You can check that out and read it. I'll have that. It'll be Substack and or Medium. I don't know where it will be from, but it'll be in there either way. So you can check it out over there, thehohoshow.com. Click on the tab, newsfeed, check it out. There you go. All right, guys, that's all I got for you today. Y'all have yourself a great one. See you next time. This has been The Ho-Ho Show. For more information, you can head to thehohoshow.com. And for the merchandise store, you can head on over to stinkpickle.com. That is stinkpickle.com. Until next time.